Hey guys, welcome back once again here to my desk. Today I'm actually very excited to do a video on this set that you see here. This is the Transformers Legacy A Hero is Born set. This comes via Hasbro Pulse. I did get this probably about, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Just haven't really had a chance to dive into it and open it up. Um, this is pure nostalgia for me. Obviously, being a huge fan of Transformers and Optimus Prime, specifically being one of my favorite Transformers out there, I definitely had to get this set. Starting off with the artwork here, it's so awesome. I actually uh, will keep this box. I just love the Alpha Trion there, with Orion Pax tending to him. I guess this is right before he repairs him and becomes Optimus Prime or something to that effect. Uh, but the artwork here is phenomenal. I do love the way they've done this. Here's Orion Pax, essentially. Really nice. So I will be keeping this box just because I love the artwork so much. And here's Alpha Trion. And on the back again, just the product itself. And obviously you guys could see this is pretty much a retool of Scourge or the sweeps essentially. And this is a retool of Cup. But I think they did a really great job, I guess, in making these two look like the actual figures, that they're meant to be, right? Alpha Trion and Orion Pax. I believe this set was around $70, I want to say. So it's pretty up there for two figures, but I think that's the going rate nowadays with everything going up in price. So, and it looks like you also get a Vector Sigma and the key to Vector Sigma. So I'll open this up, I'll get it out of its package, and then, I'll show you the rest. Okay, guys, so I took everything out of the box. No issues. Thankfully, one of Orion Pax's legs had actually come off, which is not a bad thing. So I was able to put that back. But you do get instructions, as you guys can see here. They're pretty long. One side is for Orion Pax, and the other side is for Alpha Trion. And again, because these are based on previous molds, the transformations are pretty similar to Scourge or Sweeps or Cup in this case. What you do get in the box, in addition to the figures themselves, I guess starting for Orion, is you do get a gun in red, which I believe this may be the same gun the Cup came with. It's just a different color, but there is some nice detailing done there on the gun. You also get the same Energon goodie little thing the Cup came with, which I guess wouldn't really apply to this figure, but I guess they felt like they had to include it. So that's what you get as far as accessories for Orion Pax. For Alpha Trion, because again, he's based on that Scourge sweep mold, you get the exact same gun, just painted slightly different. So it's a nice looking, I guess, gun slash rifle type gun, but I think it's well done. But it's nice that they included weapons with it. Moving on to the main accessories, I think the main allure of this set is a couple of things here. Here is the Vector Sigma. Essentially, this looks like a oversized golf ball, a really nice oversized golf ball here. There's a lot of nice almost detailing there, giving it a lot of depth, and it really shines really bright under the lights. But this is really well done. It's a sphere, it's Vector Sigma. There's a section here for the key to Vector Sigma, and a slot here for the stand that comes in the 2-pack here. So one thing that you do get is a plastic stand in two pieces, and this goes in place. There's like a cross threaded part here, kind of just snaps into place, and it's in. This is clear plastic, so again, a little worrying with clear plastic and potential breakage, but you're not going to be taking this out in and out too much. But it's nice that they offer the stand, because then you can just pop Vector Sigma on top and it'll look like that, like he's floating there. And then you get this little thing, which is again the key to Vector Sigma. And The memory I have of this is when Megatron and Optimus were using it specifically to give life to the aerial bots and the Stunticons. They went back, I believe, to Cybertron to give them life. But it's really, I think, well done. Some nice detailing there again. And per the instructions, you can insert the key into the top portion here. It kind of just goes slotted in. I wouldn't push it all the way in. It does look like it can go in, but I was afraid it may drop in there, and then I can't get it out. But it is nicely held in place right there. So that's two things, and that's pretty much it for the accessories. As far as the main figures, we can start off with Orion here, which again is based on the cup mold, and I think they've done a really great job with this figure. The paint specifically, I think, is really well done, and just bringing you up there for a close up there. The head, again, great job. Obviously, this is a unique piece to this figure. It's his head. Kind of reminds me of Blur a little, but the detailing, I think, is done really well pretty much everywhere. The paint, again, no issues other than what you see here around the, I guess, the waist. There's a bit messy there in those two slots there where some white with some red. But I don't mind that too much. It's such a small detail. I think the rest of it is done really well. The arm plastic here is in red, some blue, and again, because this is based on Cup didn't have any sort of articulation in his hands. It's just balled up fist to accept a gun. And I just really like this the way they've done this blue and this red, and then also this really nice white on the legs itself. Because this is based on the Cup figure, it retains some of the features from that figure, which means the legs can come off. And actually, in packaging, when I got this, there was something inside the box that kept making noise. It was because this leg had come off and he was just standing there without a leg, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it can just go back in, no issues. And you guys could see him there in all his glory. I don't have any issues with the back. Again, he's based on Cup, and he had a bit of a backpack there, but it's not anything too egregious to me. And here's the back of the arms, and he has the same pretty much articulation point as Cup. Shoulders, the elbows, no hand articulation. And again, his arms can come off as well. So that's a feature he retained from Cup. He can move his waist completely around. It's a little stiff on mine, but nothing too prohibitive. And then the legs, again, you can almost that much for some reason. And his legs can move in and out. So, yeah, I mean, if you have Cup, this is pretty much what you're getting. I think what makes this unique is, again, the deco, the paint, and who this character is representing, right? Orion Pax. Before he became Optimus Prime. I really do like that head sculpt there. I think, again, they've done a great job with that. And then, as I said, he does get weapons, so he can hold them in place. And I believe he can also hold the Energon Goodie if that's, something you'd like to post him with. And, maybe he can make it seem like it's some kind of walkie-talkie / communicator there. But I'm really happy with this figure. I think they've done a great job with the unique paint application to give it that Orion Pax look. And then the other figure that we do get in this pack, and this is the one that excites me the most, is Alpha Trion. I think they've done other Alpha Trion figures. This is my one and only Alpha Trion figure that I have, and I'm so glad that they made another version so that I'm able to get it. The color is so well done in this thing. It's like the purple with this red or burgundy or brown, whatever it's supposed to be. With these off-white or highlights on the body, the head, the sculpt as well. Alpha Trion, I guess, as far as I recall, is one of those figures where I first started noticing that I guess they're trying to emulate facial hair. He has like the mustache and the goatee It almost looks like he's wearing some kind of a face mask, like a superhero. But this head sculpt, I love this thing. It's so awesome to see, and I love that. I think they may have altered this neck portion to give him a bit of a neck. I'll have to see when we see the comparisons. But it almost looks like he's wearing like a suit jacket, which kind of suits this type of character. But you guys can see there's a nice Autobot insignia, really well done, no messy paint. Again, the colors on this thing are really pop. I think they're done really well. The purple looks so nice, and then again they were able to give him, like, I guess his wings, um, to be very accurate to the character there. So it's really well done. And again, this is pretty much the sweep mold, from Studio Series. I think they made one, and I forget. I think it was under Kingdom maybe, where he came out as Scourge. So if you have that figure, pretty much articulation wise what you get. You have your shoulders here, articulation. You can turn them fully around. He's got the elbows. His hands are kind of just permanently stuck in this position, and that's something that he inherits from the previous mold that he's based on. The wings in the back, or this is again part of the transformation, do tab in the back. Mine, this one, for whatever reason, looks like it's easy to come off. It's not in place versus this one, but it's nothing, again, anything too crazy that I can see. And I love, I guess, the way the wings sort of give him this regal look. I guess the waist, same thing as, again, the sweeps. You can turn this fully around. You can kick 90-degree, and there is ankle tilt. And I forgot to mention this guy has ankle tilt as well because Cup did. So I think, this is really well done. I'm really happy with what Hasbro here has done with these figures. And here's the back, which I guess can look a bit messy with the things sort of just hanging in there. But I don't mind it so much. But overall, I'm really happy with this bot modes. I think, again, great job by Hasbro. I think this is specific for anyone who's familiar with the whole lore of the key to Vector Sigma and Orion Pax and how he became Optimus. So for me, this fits that nostalgia build to a T. I'm going to put these guys in their, I guess, alternate modes just to show those off. And then we'll do some quick comparisons after that. So before we get to the alternate modes, I did got this guy into his vehicle mode here, or spaceship suite mode. Just wanted to note, while I was transforming Orion Pax here into his mode, I noticed that in these two sections here that are part of his leg, essentially, that are supposed to fold in like that, right? Part of the transformation involves you folding these panels in and letting them sit right there. And it is a little tab here. I don't know if you guys could see this little section that goes into the legs. They're supposed to fit in. That fits in fine on this section. What I encountered when I was on this side here is I was trying to push this in here, and I noted that it wouldn't go in anymore. So I didn't want to force it. And then what I noticed is that, at least on my copy, there appears to be a little extra piece of plastic just hanging there. If you compare it to the side here on the right, it's nice and flat and flush and nothing, right? Because there's essentially, when you turn this and you move the arm here, there is no section here to attach anything to. It's just down here. So no issues. But once you get to this side, on my copy anyway, right, there's interference there. And initially I thought, oh my God, like I have a plastic tear there, that, the figure's already broken. But in this case, I think it's just extra plastic. So I may just need to file that off and cut it because there's nothing for it to attach to. So just for anyone out there that may be running into this thing, I think this is just extra plastic on your figure. I'm probably just gonna file that off and cut it so I can get it into vehicle mode with no issues. So just, again, wanted to note that for anyone out there that may run into this issue. Okay, so here we are back. Took a bit of a detour, as you guys saw earlier, with the transformation on Orion here. Turns out that, as I mentioned earlier, that little piece was just an extra piece of plastic. It actually ended up just coming out with some slight tug, and it broke off cleanly without any issues. So that's a little piece that was stuck on his leg. Probably gonna just throw that in the trash. But we'll start with Orion. Again, this is just Cup recolored. The transformation is exactly the same. So I think the vehicle mode, if you have Cup, you know what you're getting there. I do like the red and blue deco, very Optimus Prime, which it's appropriate for this type of character. The red here, it's a bit inconsistent. Is really nice and shiny here, whereas here it's a little softer and matte. I'm assuming that's due to the different kinds of plastic that are being used. This plastic here seems a bit softer than this harder plastic that's used in this section. But the paint, again, this is a chest portion and it's really well done. I like the windows and the grill type of thing with the yellow. And in the back, it's just, the back. These are essentially his legs. As I mentioned earlier, I had that issue with that little extra piece of plastic just hanging there. But once that was gone, it was gone. And as you can guys see, it fits really well. The one weakest part of this whole transformation for me, and this was the same thing with Cup, it's just his legs sort of hanging out. I mean, they do neatly get folded in place and tabbed in, which is nice, but this is the bottom of it. Granted, you're not really going to be posing your toys like this in this mode, so it doesn't bother me too much, but again, just something to note. Also, while transforming this guy, I noted that some of the joints, at least on his right arm for this figure, were a little loose, so they kept coming off. Again, I don't know if it's mold degradation as they call it, but nothing too bad. And he does roll. The wheels do roll. Really wish I would have painted this like a dark gray to match the wheel. But other than that, there he is. He can roll. As far as Alpha Trion, same thing. If you have a sweep, if you have Scourge, you know what you're getting is the exact same transformation. And I've forgotten how big these things turn out to be in this mode. Again, I love the colors on this thing, the purple with brown or burgundy, whatever that's supposed to be, and the off-white. Looks really cool. But other than that, I mean, again, one of the weaknesses of this transformation is you kind of just see the body just hanging out the bottom here, the legs and the torso, and you kind of just finish the transformation by folding these things in. It's not like it covers much, but I wish it perhaps, at least for this figure, would have added maybe some additional panels to try and cover at least the middle part here, but nothing too bad. Again, there his hands just hanging around. As far as when handling it, when I was transforming it, as you guys could see, this section here of this fuselage or rear portion here, it's really loose in comparison to this one. Like this one actually stays in place. This one right here, like as soon as you move it, it kind of just moves in place. Nothing too bad. But the mode itself does look really nice. I don't recall seeing Alpha Trion in alt mode in the cartoon. I don't know if maybe in the comics maybe he did. But I think this is appropriate for him, I guess. At least what I would think he would transform into. And then as far as comparisons for these two guys, just really quick, we'll move Vector Sigma out of the picture. Here he is next to the sweep. This is a Scourge, I believe. And again, it's the exact same figure. There's some retooling on the head and the neck part, as you guys could see in that mode. They added some windows here on the left on Alpha Trion with some color, whereas this one actually has the windows, but they're all blue. Obviously, the Decepticon symbol here in the front is missing. But I think other than that, is the exact same transformation, as I said. Obviously, you guys could see the retooling of the wings here. This does a little better job of covering up the torso, which is what I meant for this figure. Maybe they could have added different pieces to cover this up a little better. But again, exact same figure for the most part, and you guys could see them there. Pretty comparable. We'll put these two aside. And then as far as Orion Pax here, here he is next to Cup. And again, exact same transformation. These are exactly pretty much the same mold, other than I would say the head and obviously the paint job and some retooling, not retooling, but I guess resculpting here of the waist. It actually looks like what they did is they just sort of added the splotch of white there, in comparison to just the black with the little gold piece here. Otherwise, it's pretty much the exact same thing. But and again, the one weakness to this mold was just the limbs just kind of hanging out there. They do again tab in place really nicely, but again, I don't mind it because you're not going to be putting your figures, you know, facing down like that. But again, there you go. This is pretty much the exact same mold, guys. No difference there if you already have them. And then we'll do some quick comparisons, and then I guess we'll just end the video. Okay, so now on to comparisons. So here we have Alpha Trion back in his robot mode in all his glory. And I figure the first one we could do the comparison next to is Scourge, or Sweep mold, essentially. And you guys could see a lot of the differences and similarities other than the obvious color change, right? Like, for example, Alpha Trion here has these spikes on his shoulders, which the Sweep does not. He's got like some kind of fuselage or a port there. You know, obviously the head's completely different. The neck molding here, which again gives Alpha Trion here his very regal look, I will say. But I think other than that, it's pretty much the exact same figure. Obviously, Decepticon, Autobot, so the colors are different, the insignias are in different places. But I think they've done such a great job grabbing this mold and giving him the Alpha Trion their look, which is it's awesome. Some slight differences, obviously, I guess, as you guys could see here. This has the one hand that's closed and this one open. This guy has both hands open. Yeah, but I think other than that, you know, the backs again are pretty similar. You guys could see because this back part here is slightly different, but other than that, I mean, it's the exact same figure. But again, I think great job by Hasbro in taking again this Scourge or Sweep mold and making this great looking Alpha Trion. Definitely, I think they did a good job there. The only things I would have liked here in this mold is perhaps if they would have given us the option for the fingers at least to move, to open and close. But other than that, I'm relatively happy. And then obviously, I think in the other mode, it would have been nice to be able to cover up some of the body that shows up in there. So that's Alpha Trion directly compared to the Sweep mold. Let's do the Orion Pax here next to Cup. And as you guys can see, pretty much a similar story here as Alpha Trion is pretty much the exact same mold. Obviously, the most of the differences, other than the color and the head sculpt, are found in the chest. So you guys could see it there. But I think other than that, again, the transformation is exactly the same. You guys could see they share the same parts for the most part. See, exact same hands. The back is pretty much the same thing, but again, I think the little touches and the paint details, the differences there, the way they were able to, I guess, redo this whole chest kind of definitely works out. So again, good job grabbing this mold and making this Orion Pax. I think it fits the toy really, really well. And then let's just do some comparisons to some random figures that I have just laying. So we'll put Alpha Trion and Orion Pax here. And I guess the first one I had there's next to Cyclonus. This is Kingdom Cyclonus. You know, obviously Cyclonus is an absolute unit there. He's pretty big. Again, I think that fits in really well. Just want to show that so you guys, anyone out there may be interested, want to see that. So there's Cyclonus. Here he is next to, here they are next to Galvatron. Again, another big boy here. So you guys want to see them Galvatron absolutely dwarfs Orion Pax there. Um, and, definitely a little taller than Alpha Trion. So we'll move Galvatron out of the way. Here he is next to Megatron. This is Siege Megatron, I believe, with the 30th anniversary deco there. One of the things that I was kind of hoping is that this Megatron would be able to hold this key to Vector Sigma. I guess you could rest it in his hand, but you can't. I mean, he does have definitely a section for the gun, but you'd have to really push it in, and I don't want to risk damaging this piece specifically. So that's rather unfortunate. Perhaps I would have wished they would have given like some kind of clear peg on the bottom so that other figures could hold this as well. Right now, I think Alpha Trion can definitely be the one to hold this thing in his hand, and it's kind of just sort of resting there. But there's a comparison with Megatron for anyone that may be interested. And then I had these from the last review I did. There's here he is next to Walrider. So Orion and and Alpha Trion definitely bigger than this guy. Here they are next to Dragstrip. This is again another Legacy line figure. Then we'll move on to last two good guys, and let's do Rodimus Prime. I love this figure so much, absolute badass that he is. But yeah, there you guys go. Again, absolutely dwarfs Orion here, and then definitely bigger than Alpha Trion. And then the last comparison we could put here is next to Optimus Prime. And again, Optimus Prime is what Orion Pax here will become. And I think as far as, it's so cool to finally have these two figures for me in my collection, the Alpha Trion and the Orion Pax here. And then having them together with Optimus. It's so awesome. Again, this set's pure nostalgia overload. But I think them reusing the molds that they did and redoing, the paint and the detailing, I think it's really well done. I think it's definitely worth the money. I do feel like they could have included a couple of additional things. But here's how the set, looks like with Optimus Prime there. Yeah, I mean, so I think in closing for me, this was definitely worth it. As I said, just getting these two figures alone was worth the price of admission for me. I don't have other versions of this toy, and I've done a great job with the deco. I think the inclusion of definitely Vector Sigma with the clear stand and the key to Vector Sigma is awesome. I think this is something that I will definitely cherish in my display. I really do wish they would have included perhaps maybe even like a little table or a bed for this guy to lay in, just like they have in the box. They show Orion Pax laying down while Alpha Trions is there looking after him. I think that would have been nice to include that additional piece of plastic, considering this was like $70. But as far as the set as is, you do get everything you see here. Plus, Alpha Trion gets a gun. I guess that's a thing. Again, this is the gun that came with the Scourge, and then you also get these Energon Goodie thing. But those are not really needed. I think what's here or right in front of you is definitely, I think, worth it. I would definitely recommend it if you could swing it and get this set for yourself. I think it's definitely a great set there. But anyway, I think I've said enough. If you have any comments, any questions, again, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. Thank you so much for your very valuable time. Hope you're having a great day. And if you're not, I'm sure tomorrow will be better. Hang in there and, take care of each other, be nice to each other. And I guess I will see you next time. Take care.